now, but I am considering the over if the weather isn't going to play a factor. For all of those joining us, make sure you follow us at Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and go to our website, buttfumblesports.com. You can sign up for a free newsletter that will provide all of my picks all in one consolidated newsletter that comes out on Friday morning. That's the game pick, total play, player prop bets, everything you need, as well as gambling trends and game notes, so you can make the decision for yourself whether you want to tail my pick, fade my pick. Entirely up to you, but you'll be provided all of that information. We want to provide you that service for free in that consolidated newsletter. And while you're there, check out some of our shirts. A hurdling Josh Allen, Mr. Irrelevant, California Love from Debo Samuel, Jones on Jones Crime, the butt punt. You'll want to check out these shirts, buttfumblesports.com, everything the real sports fan needs. The final game of the divisional round, kicking off at 6:30 on Fox, is between the Dallas Cowboys and the San Francisco 49ers. Where I see it, the 49ers are a 3.5-point favorite, and the over-under is set at 45.5 points. Some gambling trends before we go around and break this one down. The road team is 4-1-1 against the spread in the last 6 meetings between the Cowboys and 49ers, while the Cowboys are 12-5-1 against the spread in their last 18 road games. The 49ers are 12-2 against the spread in their last 14 home games. Now let's get to the total, some trends there. The under is 4-1 in the Cowboys' last 5 road games, but the over is 8-3 in the last 11 meetings between the two. The over is 5-1 in the Cowboys' last 6 games following an against the spread win, and the over is 5-0 in the 49ers' last 5 home games. Adam, lots of trends we put out there, but we also just saw 2 impressive wins from these two teams. The 49ers took care of business to start the wild card round. The Cowboys took care of business to end it. Which team emerges victorious from the divisional round?
Yeah, you're right. Both teams look very impressive in their wins this past weekend. This line opened at 3.5, 45.5, and it really hasn't much moved from there. You might see San Fran 4 in some spots. Weather-wise, 55 degrees, 10 miles an hour, a little bit less than that, so weather shouldn't be an issue. This Dallas team is like Jekyll and Hyde, right? They're either really, really good or they're really, really bad. You know, when they don't turn the ball over and Dak doesn't throw interceptions every game, you know, there's no reason why Dallas can't be in it and compete to win. San Francisco just keeps rolling with Purdy. He keeps impressing. 332 and 3 touchdowns last week. He just doesn't make any mistakes. A little bit slow in the first half, but boy, they really turned it on in the second half. And like we mentioned all year long, he's relying on this running game with McCaffrey. Debo Samuel was a shot in the arm for this team this week. You could see the difference he makes coming back. Ayuk had a big game, and of course his defense. Now the defense did give up 136 yards and 2 touchdowns to Metcalf, but you know this defense for the most part gives this offense more possessions, and you know with more possessions they can control the clock and take care of the football game that way with Purdy. The one question I have is Dallas. You know, Dallas hadn't won, especially on the run of playoffs, forever. Early 90s, I believe, is the stat. How are they going to bounce back from this? I kind of look at this game like TCU. Like TCU shouldn't have been there in that game against Michigan, and then they won, and then they kind of like were deflated against Georgia. Was this win for Dallas too big? Was this what they needed to get the monkey off the back? And now they have to travel to San Fran and try to get it done out there? I'm not sure they can do that. I think this win was such a huge shot in the arm for them in McCarthy, but now they got to go out to San Fran and possibly the most overall best team in the league, and with the way Purdy's playing right now in San Francisco. So I give that edge to San Fran. Now on the same side of that coin, you know, on the other side of the coin, the glass slipper on Purdy. Does he keep playing the way he's playing? They're asking him not to do too much. He's being efficient, not turning the ball over, relying on this running game, relying on this defense. And if you ask me, you know, which one of the two I believe in, I believe more in Purdy than I do Dallas getting back up to try to come out here and play this football game. So the splits right now are 69% of the money is on San Fran, which is not a surprise to cover, and 78% of the public right now is on the over. So not much of a surprise there because San Fran has been putting up a lot of points. One key injury in this game is Jason Peters, the tackle for Dallas. That could be big if he plays or not. He is questionable. That could be something to watch there. But for me, I'm just not going to overthink it. I think San Fran right now might be the most possible, you know, possibly the best team in the NFL right now. And laying 3.5, you know, I buy that down to 3 or 2.5 and take San Fran. As far as the over under, I think I would lean a little bit to the under because I think Dallas is going to be in check. I think San Fran is going to stop the running game and make Dak try to beat them. And I think Dak does have an interception or two in this game. And the running game for Dallas just hasn't been that great, as we noted the last couple of weeks. So I think San Fran stops the run, puts the ball in Dak's hands. He can't get it done. So I do like San Fran to pull away late in this game, but I do like the under. I think they will keep Dallas in check. And much to the team total in Cincinnati, I just mentioned that I like in the previous game, I actually like the team total for San Fran here over 24.5. They've been scoring a lot of points here as of late. And I think with the extra possessions that they'll get from their defense or a turnover or two will lead to some quick points here. So San Fran, -3.5, lean towards the under, and I'll play San Fran's total team over 24.5.
To the point Adam made, the last time the Dallas Cowboys won a road playoff game was in the 90s, and it was against the 49ers. And famously, that was at the game in which afterwards Jimmy Johnson said to a loaded locker room, "How about them Cowboys?" Well, if the Cowboys are able to go on the road and win against the 49ers this time, potentially setting up a matchup with the Philadelphia Eagles or the Giants in the NFC Championship game, I can assure you Mike McCarthy won't just be dancing with the chain. We'll get something out of him that's a bite, or Jerry Jones, a soundbite that will be worthy of another decade worth of play. That said, Lope Dog, what do you think about this one between the Cowboys and the 49ers? Can Brock Purdy, as Adam so perfectly said, keep that glass slipper on his foot? Or will Dak Prescott emerge after one of the best games of his NFL career?
Yeah, we're all just waiting for Purdy to make a rookie mistake or stumble a little, but it just hasn't happened. Shanahan's been able to keep him pretty mistake free with help. A lot of credit goes to Purdy, of course. Um, the over, as far as the over under goes, I'm going to go a slight lean to the over. I'm not sure that I'm willing to play money on it yet. Each of the 49ers last 4 games have gone over. I think Vegas is still selling their offense short, and Deebo Samuel really does help them. And Dallas's defense can't have follies. The only thing that I'm worried about is I think the big advantage is on the other side. I think San Francisco's defense is very suffocating, and Dak's not going to have all day to throw like he did against Tampa's pass rush. I'm not sure how Todd Bowles wasn't able to get any pressure. Maybe he doesn't have a good pass rusher, but I don't think it's going to be as easy for Dak. Nick Bosa is going to have to be doubled, if not tripled, with a chip on every play. It screws up a lot of what you want to do, and their secondary is pretty tough as well. So I like San Fran. I think it's the strongest play for me in the week. They're really good at home. I've had them as one of the best teams in football since midseason, and they've only come on stronger. So I'll take San Fran and swallow the 3.5, and I'll look towards the over on a slight.
Much like Adam and Lope, one of the things that stood out to me is the emotional roller coaster that is the Dallas Cowboys, and how they go from haughty to humble. And when the Cowboys are at their best, they're humble, and they're not arrogant. They're not acting like they're America's team. They're the butt of every Stephen A. Smith joke. And when they're concentrated on trying to disprove the haters, they are really good. When they start feeling themselves, that's when the Dallas Cowboys always lay an egg, slip on the banana peel, make that colossal mistake. What concerns me now is that has shifted. I really liked Dallas last week on the money line. It was one of my favorite plays, in part because I really thought that the Dallas Cowboys benefited from that loss to the Commanders because it humbled them. They learned a lot about what they needed to do to be better. Now they're feeling really good about themselves after beating up on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. They're going to San Francisco, and the 49ers are waiting for them. I think that 2-day difference, Jerry Jones complained about that. That 2-day difference for the 49ers and the Cowboys will absolutely play a factor in terms of rest and recovery. And you have the additional travel for the Cowboys. So a lot of these other factors or variables is in the 49ers' favor. But that said, Micah Parsons is a great player. Nick Bosa is a great player, but it's about who they're going up against. I'd rather have the 49ers offensive line going up against Micah Parsons than I'd have the Cowboys offensive line. I want the 49ers in this game. I'm not sure if I would take them on the spread. I think I would still buy Dallas and get those points because I think the Cowboys have figured out a formula with Dak, Pollard, and Zeke that'll keep them competitive in terms of scoring points. But ultimately, I think the 49ers are one of the best rosters in the NFL. So I really like the 49ers this week. I think they don't just win, but I could see them potentially covering. It's one of the reasons I'm not crazy about the spread right now. I really want to see how public money drives this to see if there's an opportunity to take the 49ers at a more favorable spread. But for now, at least, the Butt Fumble Sports early line pick of the week for 49ers and Cowboys is San Francisco on the money line, Dallas to cover +5 after I buy 1.5. And as for the over-under, I am considering the over. I haven't put money down on it yet. I want to see how that line shifts over the course of the week. But for now, I am considering the over as well. Appreciate all of you joining us. Make sure you're following Butt Fumble Sports on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and at Sports Fumble on Twitter. Make sure you go to our website, buttfumblesports.com, and sign up for the free newsletter. That way you can know all of our picks on Friday morning. That newsletter goes out on Friday morning. You can get all of our picks, and that way you have it all consolidated in one place. Adam, I see you got your hand up. What's up?
Yeah, real quick, just to tag on to the end of this 49er game here. One thing that Dallas didn't have to do last week was really, stop the run and face a mobile quarterback. Brady sat back there and threw the ball 66 times. So there was no threat of the run and no threat of him leaving the pocket. And the one thing, two things that San Fran does really well is obviously run the football with Debo and McCaffrey, and also Purdy is mobile. So Dallas isn't going to be able to sit back there and just tee off on them too. So that's just one thing to think about as well.